Okay, in this lecture we will be seeing how to use Google App Engine in order to serve your application from the cloud. I will divide essentially the lecture into two portions. The first one, which we are starting now, we will go into how to adapt the application so that it runs well on the Google Cloud. In the second portion, we will describe how to upload the application and check what it is doing once it is on the cloud. So I'm starting here from our classical application that displays blog posts. I have it here, just if we want to see how it looks like. This is running locally. You can log in as usual. Okay, you can add a new post. You can say this is a new post, post content. Okay, you submit it, and then you can rate it as usual if you like, and you can also delete it, or you can delete any post that you have authored. So in this lesson we will also see how to make these things work, which I guess is useful from the point of view of homework 4 and 3. So this is how it looks locally, and in the next class recorded, I will show you how to get this to run actually on the cloud. You see, this is running on a real HTTPS URL on the cloud. So in order to get this to run, I had to do some minor adaptations. So in the original application, we had a function to get the post list that works as follows. We select all the posts, and then if we are logged in, we actually use a join construct to read at the same time with only one database query the post together with everybody who likes and stars them. Now the issue if you are going to develop on the Google Cloud is this. You have to choose which database to use. You can either choose to build with a MySQL database, which supports all the joins and all the constructs we have been using so far, or you can deploy using the Google Data Store, which is which has the advantage of being free. I will go into databases later in the second part of this, in the second one of this class, but that it does not support joins. So I had essentially to find an alternative for this construct here. And what I decided to do is simply to iterate over every post, and for every post to actually look up in the user like and user star tables whether there is any information about the user having liked or starred the post. So the code after that change looks like this. I fetch all the rows, and for each row if auth user is not none, I check both the likes and the stars by doing 2 additional queries. So the code is slightly less efficient, but it avoids joins and is able to run on the Google Data Store, which is free. Okay, so this is one of the changes I had to make. Another change that I had to make, just for the fun of it actually, is that I wanted to be able to add post deletion. So let me show you the code. So here in index.html I added a simple section in which I have a delete icon. See, I decided to add to each post a field user email. There was already actually post author, and I check whether the user email is equal to the post author. And if they are, I display this span in which there is a delete icon, and if you click it, you execute delete post. Okay, so this user email variable is set here at the beginning of the file. Okay, so this may help some of you who are trying to get conditional display of posts, buttons, depending whether you are the author or not. It is set here. The problem is that I cannot directly use this variable here. So these two variables look the same, but they are not. This is a global variable. This one is a global variable, and this one is a Vue variable. So what I had to do is, in Vue, I had to say that there is a Vue variable called, where is it? I'm sorry, user email, which is set to the global variable user email. Okay, so that's part of the trick. This seems like a stupid assignment, but it's not. User email on the right is a global variable, and on the left becomes a Vue variable that Vue is able to use in deciding the layout and the update to the layout. Good. So so this match for deletion, the delete method per se is quite easy. The delete post simply fishes out the post. It does a post to a delete post URL specifying with the ID of the post you want to delete. And then, if the post returns and is successful, you know, if there is an error, this function is not executed. But if the post is successful, I remove the post from the list of posts via a splice operation, which is used in JavaScript to remove pieces from an array. This means remove the element at post index and remove one element. Okay, so this does the job client side of first deleting the post, and once we have confirmation from the server, we remove it from the list. The server portion is actually very simple as well, because we simply we read the post ID, we read the post. If there is a post, I actually check that the author is the logged in user, just for safety, just to check that, you know, somebody is not trying somehow to delete somebody else's posts. And if the author is, if the user has the right to delete it, I simply delete the post via delete record statement, and I return OK. So that's how that works. In order to adapt the code, I did another thing that might be of interest to you. So I wanted to obtain the following behavior, which I'm not sure was quite working well before. So I wanted to be able to add a post and say, this is my interesting title and post content, and I wanted to be able to add it to the list of posts with the trash icon and all of these icons working correctly. So when I originally added the trash icon and the delete method, it would be present for every post I get from the server, but not for this newly inserted post. And I heard many of you had this problem in some homework you did recently. Now the reason is the following. The display of this trash icon, if you look at the code, which is here, this depends on the post having a post author field. The problem is that you need to ensure that also new posts have this field, because otherwise this Vue if statement will compare a known user email with a null field of a post and will never display the icon. So essentially the point is this: you have a post list, you have to make sure that the posts that you get from the server look the same as the posts that you create by inserting a post in the UI in JavaScript. So I had to go back to my function to add a post. I'm sorry, I'm looking for it. 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry, here it is. Okay, so this is the add post function. So look at how it works. I send the post that I want to add to the server. Actually, I just send the title and the content. And when I get confirmation that it has been added, I create a new post and then I add the new post to the top of the list. Okay, fine. The problem is that this new post here has to look identical to the way in which I create the new post here. You see, these are the fields of a post. They contain ID, post title, post content, post author, like, and rating. And I need to make sure that what I create here is identical. So the ID, this is old code, but I'm just commenting on it again. The ID is data post ID. So essentially I need to be told the ID by the server, because this is the insertion ID in the database. Only the server knows it. And so I need to wait for the reply from the server to fix it. Fine. Then I can set the title and the content. But this is the important part. I also need to set the post author, the like, and the rating. These correspond to these fields here: post author, like, and rating. Okay? If I don't do these, the posts that are created in the UI would behave differently from the ones I get from the get posts call. Okay? So I need to do those three things, and then I can just add my new post at the beginning of the list of posts. Okay, and then I process them to make essentially compute automatically these elements that might be missing. Okay, so the smile, but especially the index as well. Okay, so this is needed. Okay, so these are the changes I had to do in order to prepare for my app to be compatible with deployment on Google, and also to fix the behavior of the delete button that depends on the post author field being present in a post.